guys, welcome back to my channel, Shut Up and Read, and welcome back to another reading vlog. This is my first reading vlog of the year and I am pretty excited. Also, if you can't tell, I had dyed my hair back because of professional reasons. Anyways, for this reading vlog, I want to focus on arcs that I have received and kind of want to do something similar to Chelsea. So that's kind of the intention that I'm going with this video. I want to focus on 2 physical arcs and then 2 e-arcs because I have so many e-arcs on NetGalley and I really need to amp up my percentage. I think right now, last time I checked, I was at like 18%, which is not great, which is also probably why I don't really get accepted for any more books on there. So I'm going to try to really focus on those books and try to amp up that percentage, as well as some of my physical arcs. So this reading vlog, I'm aiming to finish 4 books, 2 physical and 2 ebooks. So the physical one that I am going to pick up later today is Wardens of Eternity by Courtney Moulton. I haven't decided my second book yet, so before I get into it, I do want to say that the arcs that I'm picking up for these reading vlogs are ones that are either coming out later this month or just sometime in January or sometime in February, depending on what I have available. So this is the first book that I'm going to try to pick up. All I know for this book is that it has something to do with like Egyptian mythology and magic, and I haven't read a book with Egyptian lore before, so I am really intrigued with this one. And then in terms of my ebook, I actually already started this one for a few days already, but it's been slow going because I haven't really dedicated too much time to reading, and that is Tweet Cute. And this one is a contemporary. It follows the fact that there are these 2 people who somehow gets caught up in a viral tweet war. And so what happens is that the girl, she is the daughter of Big League Burger, I think that's what they're called, and somehow they had a new like grilled cheese special going on and they called it Grandma Special, and so they started this whole Twitter campaign for it. On the flip side, there's a guy who is the son of the owner of Grilled Cheesing, which is this deli in New York City, and they specialize also in multiple types of sandwiches. Obviously it's a deli shop, and one of their specials is Grandma Special, and it's also a grilled cheese sandwich, and apparently it's very similar in terms of the ingredients, and this whole thing ignited some sort of like viral tweet war. And not only that, but apparently the 2 people are also falling in love via this chat app. And right now I'm about 30% through, so I'm hoping to finish this book sometime later this week, ideally, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I do want to start this book sometime later today as well. So that's my update for now, and I will follow up with you guys later and see what's happening with my reading. It's been a minute, guys, and I have actually made some progress. I'm now on 46% of Tweet Cute, which honestly, I just like went in with the expectation that it'll be like super cute, and it's not that cute. So it's just okay. I don't really care too much about either characters. The girl's name is Pepper and the guy's name is Jake, or is it Jack? Wait, yeah, the guy's name is Jack, and I don't know, there's just like something about these 2 characters I just don't care about, and I don't know, it's just not that cute, guys. Like, I mean, like 46% in, and I just went in expecting to be super cute, and so far it's not living up to my expectations. I mean, it's not a bad book, it's just not as amazing as I was expecting it to be. So that is that. I mean, I'm really hoping it kind of picks up a bit, because I feel like part of it is also kind of slow, and I don't know how I feel about that. But either way though, this book is just okay. And the next book I did make some progress for is this one here, Wardens of Eternity. I'm now on page 87, so I've made some progress with this book. And if I remember correctly, all I mentioned so far was that this book has something to do with Egyptian mythology, which is very true. It follows a girl called Ziva who was abandoned by her parents when she was only 3 years old. That was her first memory ever, and ever since then she's been fending for herself, surviving, working in a factory, just basically trying to survive. And she's also realized that she has some sort of magical powers, but she has no idea how to control it. And one day she ends up getting attacked by these mythical creatures, and these 2 people show up and basically save her. And then from there she finds out that she's actually descended from Egyptian royalty and has some sort of magical godlike powers passed down to her. And this book so far is pretty intriguing. I would say my biggest issue is the fact that this book is set in World War II, and if it wasn't for the fact that there's a few little mentions about the war, about the way how people dress, I would never have guessed that this book was set during that time period. It very much feels like it's set in the modern day. So there's so many times when I had to remember that things work a little bit differently because of the time period. but because of the way how this book is written, I tend to forget that a lot. So that's my biggest issue. What I liked about this book so far is the Egyptian mythology. I'm not really familiar with a lot of Egyptian mythology. The only one I really know is Anubis, but there's all these other introduction of the gods and goddesses in Egyptian mythology, and I'm really liking it and just learning more about it. So I find that super fascinating. But other than that though, I can't really say too much about this book. I just started it. I'm not even 100 pages into it. I haven't really decided if I even like the main character. There's some things that she's done so far that I'm not the biggest fan of, but then I also understand where she's coming from, so I can't really fault her for it. But I will talk more about that in a future update because it's too early for me to really make some sort of judgment in terms of how much I like the character or not. So anyways, that is an update for now, and I will update you guys later as I make some more progress. Hey guys, so it has been a day since I last updated you guys, and I have made some more progress with this book as well as my ebook. But before I jump into my updates, I do want to do a quick unboxing for Unplugged book box. This box has been sitting here for about to say like a week or something, and I figured why not just unbox it during my reading vlog. So here I am finally unboxing it, and I cannot wait to see what is inside. All right, so I'm opening it up and let's see. Okay, so this is what the box looks like right from the beginning. By the way, this is a January box. The theme for the January 2020 box is lower the volume. This is the card over here, and I'm assuming the back is the spoiler, so I'm not going to go into it. And let's just see what's inside. I'm really excited actually, because last time I did it for the December box, which I'll link somewhere above, I got so many awesome products and I've been using them a lot, so I'm really excited to see what's in this box. So the first thing I see is the playlist card, and like I said already, this is actually really interesting because there's a little Spotify link here, and I guess you can use the camera and you can actually search for this entire playlist very quickly. So that is pretty awesome. And then behind this playlist there is the photo challenge, which is really cool. So if you're interested in the photo challenge, you can actually go onto their Instagram directly and participate, and you can actually win something as well. Anyways, the first item that I see is this, I want to say it's like fabric-y looking item, and let's just see what's inside. Okay, I'm not really sure what this is for now. Oh, is it a scarf? Okay, this is a scarf. Yep, this is definitely a scarf. So this is the design close up. More like this. So this is the print, and let's see what the spoiler card has to say. It's the Doctor Who scarf. I love scarves, so I can definitely see myself using this. I always like to leave a scarf on the car and stuff because I feel like the weather here changes so drastically, and sometimes it's so hot in the morning, but once night comes, it's so freaking cold, so this is perfect. Anyways, loving this first item so far. Okay, then the next item that I see here is this the book already? Okay, I'm not going to open this up yet because I want to leave the book towards the end. So the next item that I see here is the candle, and I'm so excited for it. So this is a caramel candle. It says, remember, it's only a game. It's supposed to be caramel, popcorn, spice, and magic. Wow, it smells super sweet. And this is what it looks like. I haven't had a candle that is very like pastel-y, bright colored before, so this is kind of cool for that. I don't know if I like the smell that much because, I mean, it smells delicious. Like, I would definitely be eating this candle if it was edible, but I tend to prefer more like floral slash citrusy scents for my candles. So I'm not the biggest fan of super sweet candles, but in terms of how delicious this smells, it is very delicious. So that's pretty good. Next item that I see here is this one over here, and it says mini speaker. Okay, so it's just a little mini speaker, and it looks like this. I'm gonna have to try it out later to see how well it works, but I don't have a mini speaker actually, so this is actually really useful, and I am liking this as well. Anyways, next item that I see here is this, and this is a book light, which I actually do really need because I feel like this is something that's like so useful. Anyways, the next item that I see here is a very giant one, and this looks like it'll be amazing. Oh my god. So this is a very nice glass. Look how beautiful this design artwork is. It says face of an angel, tongue of a snake. So let's see what this is inspired by. It's inspired by The Daughter of the King, which I haven't read yet, so I really need to get on reading that book soon. But I'm loving this. This is so nice too. It's like really high quality. All right, next item that I see here is a sheet mask, and this is just like a moisture soothing sheet mask. And the last thing that I see for this box is next month's theme card, and it's supposed to be forbidden love. So I am really excited for this theme. But anyways, the last item really is this book. So let's see what is here. And that is Oasis by Katya de Becerra. I've actually only heard this book recently, within the past month or so. I have one friend who has read this already and said she really enjoyed it, so I have pretty high hopes. And it also includes a book plate by the author. So I'm looking at the synopsis very quickly, and it says that they get lost, some sort of sandstorm hits, and they find an oasis, but this mysterious ruins hide a deadly secret. So it's not just about a survival thing, is also some sort of like horror-esque element to it, and I am so here for that. So honestly, I am loving this box. As always, Unplugged book box does a really good job. Just as an FYI for those who don't know, I am a rep for Unplugged, and if you use my code, which I will include down below, you do get 10% off all shop items, which I think is a really good deal. And honestly, all the products so far are freaking amazing. I think my favorite item this time around will have to be either the scarf or the mug. Like this is it. This is actually my favorite. Anyways, that is it in terms of my unboxing. Giving you guys a quick update now in terms of my reading. So this book, let's talk about this book first. So I am now on page 183. I'm about halfway through this book, and I am flying through. There was this one scene earlier, which is not a spoiler, that I realized that this book is actually super relatable to me, because Ziva ends up going to a museum for whatever reason, and she's Egyptian. I mean, like, that's kind of the whole premise of this book, like she's descended from the Egyptian royalty, and some white guy comes up to her and asks her where she's from, and she's like, I'm from New York. And his response to her was just like, no, where are you really from? And I was like, oh my god, this is like such a relatable question, because I have been asked this question so many times, because what they really want to know is like where, like what is your ethnicity, and not where you're really from. So that part just really shook me, and I was like, wow, relatable. So that, I was really enjoying that scene, especially like the aftermath and how they handled it. It was just really on point, and I really liked that. So anyways, other than that though, I'm really enjoying it. It's very fast paced. There's a lot of stuff going on. I do think that the writing sometimes, I think the author tends to overshare details that I don't think are super important, and so because of that, I have found myself kind of skimming through some paragraphs, because the paragraph will literally just be describing a room or something like that I just don't think is super relevant to the story. So that's the only thing that I'm like, ah. But at the same time, I do know people who really like to be able to picture everything, so I can see that working well for some people. But for me, I'm more about like, I want to get down to the business, I want to know what's happening, and I don't need all this fluff details. So that's the only thing I can really say that's negative in terms of this book. But otherwise though, I'm really enjoying the plot. I'm liking the characters. There is also some sort of romancy thing going on, but it's very subtle, and I kind of hope that it doesn't actually continue, because it's so subtle that I think if the author tries to make this romance work, it would not really work well, just because as of up to this point, it's like, it's just a hint, you know, and it's all from Ziva's side. So I would definitely prefer if there's no romance, or it's a very like chill kind of like behind the scene romancy thing going on, because I think that would best suit this book. But other than that though, really enjoying this book. Then in terms of my tweet cute book, well, I am now on 50%, so I've not made that much progress with this book so far. It's just okay. Like, I still have the exact same feelings since I last updated you guys. It's just not that cute, but I would say the super cute part about this book that I think so far is the dessert part. So Pepper does a lot of baking, and it's also for her blog slash the menu for the company slash her hobby, something like that. And I just love it every time she pops up with a new summer dessert, because apparently her desserts are freaking amazing, and the way how the author describes it, the way how everyone describes it when they eat it, it's just like, I want it too. And so that's the only part that I'm like, I feel like I've been craving so much sweet stuff since reading this book, probably because she keeps talking about these monster cakes, these milkshakes, and I'm just like, they sound freaking fantastic and I want some too. But unfortunately though, that's really the only part that I'm like super hyped up about. The characters themselves, I don't really care too much. The romance, everything is just still like very subpar, and I'm really hoping this book picks up soon, because I just heard so many good things of this book. So I don't know, but I will definitely update you guys as I continue reading. Anyways, that is it from my update, and I shall check back in later. Alright, so this is like a super odd angle, but we're just gonna make this work. But I just want to jump in very quickly and let you guys know that I did manage to finish this book. I feel like it's been a while since I last updated you guys. I don't really remember when, maybe yesterday. It's now Sunday evening and I just finished this book, and honestly this book went in a direction that I did not expect at all. I feel like the last quarter was kind of a clusterfuck, to put it mildly. It was just so like all over the place, so much stuff going on that I was like, what? And towards the last like few chapters I literally was just like, what the fuck is going on now? Because things just didn't really make sense anymore, and I feel like the flow just kind of like lost itself, and I just don't really know what the author's intention with this book is anymore, because it was just so like all over the place and it just didn't make sense, and I don't really get it. And I believe I also talked about the romance the other day, and unfortunately there is a romance now, and like I said already, my opinion still stands, and I just really felt like this book should have not had a romance. Like I feel like it would have been stronger without a romance, but unfortunately there's a romance in here and I was not a fan. It felt super awkward, not realistic, and it just didn't like fit well. And the other thing is that like in the beginning I did notice this, but it didn't really bother me until I want to say the last like half or the last quarter of this book, when things started like not make sense. But I feel like there's just something about this pacing of this book that just seems really off to me, in the sense that, so the main girl here is Ziba, and she was, you know, like she knew that she has magic her entire life, etc. And for the past like 15 years or so she's been struggling to survive in New York City, etc, etc. But then like once she is found by the other people, like her people, the Medjai, somehow like within like a day or two she is so strong. She's like fighting, like she's doing all these things, and I'm just like, how is that even possible? Like I feel like this is something that you have to train for like months, years, etc. And the way how she picked up these things like so quickly just seems so unrealistic to me. From the beginning I was kind of like, I don't know if it was just me and the fact that maybe this book took place a lot longer, like it was spread out a lot more, but honestly I felt like this book took place within like a week or two. And the fact that she was able to go from an orphan, starving, knowing she had magic but not knowing how to control it, to becoming incredibly powerful, becoming a warrior, like not just like her magic but also her fighting physical strength and stuff, and learning and picking up all these like ancient Egyptian and like hieroglyphics. I'm just like, that just somehow just seems unrealistic, in the sense that this pacing just feels too fast for her to learn all of that stuff. So I did notice that in the beginning, but like it didn't really bother me as much until like later, and I was like, I don't know, something about it just like so anyways, point is, I feel like this book originally I was like, it could have been like a 3.5 stars, because I still like enjoyed it. I like the Egyptian mythology and like learning all the different gods and goddesses, but at the end of the day, after that like last quarter, my goodness guys, this book is definitely a 2-star read, maybe even less, to be honest. It was just not what I expected. Like this book could have been so good, but also the ending was kind of predictable. I feel like, yes, a lot of things are like all over the place, but the ultimate like big ending, I feel like that was kind of a given. But anyways, and I haven't made much progress with this book yet, Tweet Cute, so I have no updates to give. But the next physical book that I want to pick up for my arc is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. Definitely butchered that name, but this one also comes out sometime in January. I think this came out already, January 7th. But either way though, this one's supposed to be kind of like magical as well. I want to say magical realism. Supposed to have some sort of like Bolivian things to it, like politics, history, stuff like that. So I'm excited. I haven't actually heard too much in terms of what people have thought about this book, but this cover is gorgeous and I've had this book forever, so I definitely want to pick this up, and I will let you guys know once I get into a little bit more and let you guys know what this book is actually about, because I don't really remember it off the top of my head. But anyways, that is it in terms of my update. It is like not a great update because I literally just like bashed that book, but you know, it is what it is. It happens. Anyways, that is it, and I will see you guys later. So just popping in very quickly right now that I managed to finish reading this book, Tweet Cute, and I have to say that the last 20% of the book was much better. It became much cuter and I started to like the characters a lot more. There's also this whole thing that happened with the backstory, which I'm not gonna go into because it's spoilers, but like this book definitely ended on a much positive note. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it though, because the first 3/4 of this book was just so blah to me that it was just, I don't know if the 20%, the last 20% will really make up for the entire rest of the book. But anyways, it is super late right now and I'm going to bed. It's like, I'm so tired, I can barely speak. So I just wanted to just pop in and update you guys for a hot second, letting you guys know that I finished it, which means I finally finished my second book. And now to decide what I'm going to read next in terms of my ebooks, so I'm going to figure that out tomorrow and then I will update you guys later. Hey guys, so it has been a while since I last updated you guys, but I haven't really read that much today. I'm still reading this book right now, but I thought I will actually pop in really quickly and just kind of go through my NetGalley so you guys can see like how bad I'm doing, as well as picking my next ebook. So anyways, let me just flip you guys around for my computer and let you guys see what I'm actually looking at. Okay, so this is my page here, and it's not the greatest page, but if you can see here, my feedback ratio is 18%. So it's really not good at all. So I went to this next page, which is the Your Shelf page, and my next book that I think needs to be read as quickly as possible is probably January 7th is Jane Anonymous, which means that will probably be the next book that I will pick up because it is now January and I should probably read that. And I have the physical for this book, so I'm okay with picking that up sometime next month for my next ARC reading vlog, most likely. But yeah, I think I will pick up Jane Anonymous and then read this one next. Anyways, point is, this is a very short update, but I just wanted to just run through my NetGalley and just let you guys know exactly what I'm talking about with my really low rating, and then just pick my next book. So now that I have my next book picked up, I will try to read that as well as juggle with this one, because now I'm on the final stretch. I have this one left and I read a little bit. I'm on page 43, so honestly really not that much progress, but I do hope to read a lot more tonight because I do have some time tonight to read that, and then of course try to pick up this one soon, Jane Anonymous. Okay, so very quick update before I go to bed, because I realized I haven't updated you guys in, I want to say, a day or something like that, but I have made a lot of progress with this book right now. I'm currently on page 140, so I'm about like almost halfway, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I really like the whole political issue that's going on right now. In a way, it reminds me of the Civil War in the sense that it's one country, but then there are like two types of people. Like, I don't know if it's like races or something like that, but they're somehow at a war with each other, and Ximena, who is the main girl, is pretending to be the Condessa and is basically trying to overthrow the throne and take back what is rightfully theirs. And right now, like, this whole thing about like how there's like this fake king and how like there's a real Condessa, but Ximena is acting as a decoy, and the fake king has asked the Condessa to marry him to basically like seal this alliance in a way and try to like end this civil war. But there's a bunch of like political thing and like racial thing going on and a lot of misunderstandings, because I feel like in a way Ximena grew up knowing one side of the story, and as she is now in this castillo where the king is at, and so as she's there, she's starting to learn that there might be another side to the story. And so far it's like kind of interesting. There's also this one guy in there which I'm kind of like not sure there's gonna be a romance in here, because the first thing that she knows about him was that, well, two things. One is that he's very smelly, and the second thing is that he is not attractive. And I'm like, those two things seem like very unappealing aspects of someone, and so like if there's a romance, I'm gonna be super shocked, because that's just not something that's like a good first impression, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but so far there's a lot of things with this book that I like in terms of the political aspect to it and kind of finding out like both sides of the story. But then there's also things about Ximena herself that's like, it's interesting, but it's also like a lot of stuff that she did in the beginning that kind of annoyed me, because I feel like as someone who has pretended to be the Condessa her entire life essentially, she lacks a lot of patience and a lot of responsibility and maturity that is pretty much a given for her role as the ruler of her people. That like there's things that she did in the beginning, like especially the first few chapters, that I was like, that just seems way too immature for me. And it wasn't just immaturity, it's the fact that it had lots of like deadly consequences. So there's definitely things about her that I'm very much like not happy with. At the same time though, I'm still enjoying the story. There's also magical elements to it, so there seems to be like her people follow Luna, who is, I'm assuming, like the moon goddess or something like that, and her people are gifted with particular aspects of her magical stuff. So Ximena has the ability to actually weave threads with moon, so it's like kind of glowy and stuff like that. And then on the flip side, the other race has this, like, I forget what their god is called, but I think he's like supposed to be like a ruthless god. And so they have sacrifices, they have different beliefs, and I'm pretty sure the fake king has some sort of like earthquake kind of powers going on. So there's also like magical aspect to it as well, and I'm not really sure too much in terms of the gods and the magical elements to it just of yet, because it seems very varied. So I don't know, like that part seems to be very like not well explained as of yet, so hopefully that gets explained a little bit more. But anyways, point is, I'm enjoying it. I'm halfway through, so hopefully I'll get to finish it. My goal really is to finish it before I fly out in 2 days, because I'm actually going to ALA soon, so I need to really get on with this. Anyways, next update is Jinn Anonymous, and this one I just started. I'm not even sure how far through I am. Okay, so like I'm at 10%, so I really need to get on with reading this. But this one is like really interesting. It's like totally different compared to this one. It's like a fantasy, whimsical, magical book. This one is a contemporary. It follows a girl who is Jinn Anonymous, who was living her life, and then one day she gets kidnapped, and now this is an alternating timeline between then and now, like the aftermath, when she comes back after 10 months of captivity and becomes a changed person. And it's just basically telling her story and what happened. So far, like I'm not really much into it, so I can't really say too much, but I'm enjoying it. It's really interesting. Like it's really different. I really like how the author is describing the situation and Jane's reactions and feelings and everything during that time period seems very realistic, and I can just feel what is happening to her, and it feels very real. So I'm actually really enjoying this book. I'm reading this book a little slower because this book is just really easy to get through. This book seems a little bit more serious, so that's kind of the difference. But I'm really enjoying this book. I'm hoping to finish both of them before like I leave in 2 days, so I'll update you guys later as I read some more. Hey guys, so it has been a while, and I thought I would give you guys a really quick update with my reading, because I'm actually heading out to the airport soon, and clearly I have not finished any of the books yet, so I will be updating you guys afterward, because I'm not going to be bringing my camera with me nor my books with me. I'm only bringing one book with me, and it's not any of the books that I'm reading right now, because I have to read it for a blog tour. So anyways, first update is this book right here, Jinn Anonymous. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm currently about 20% of the way through, and so really not much progress, to be honest, but I think like it's just super fascinating just to kind of see the alternating timeline between what happened before when she was held captive and now when she has somehow escaped or freed herself or whatever. I don't know what happened that she's now back home, but she was gone, I want to say 10 months, but I think it was more like 7 or 8 months, and just all the struggles and fears that she's going through right now, like afterward, because of basically the terrible things that she had to face during that time period was just like heartbreaking. And it's just really interesting to see kind of the dynamic and the shift between how she was like before and how she's like now. So I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'm going to try to read it. I am going to bring that book with me, actually, my ebook, just so I can have it just in case, but I will update you guys when I get back, because I'm not bringing my camera either. So the next book that I want to update you guys is this book over here, Woman in Moonlight. I am currently on page 235, so I'm actually like almost done. I really wish I could have finished this, to be honest. I feel like if I had like one more day I could have finished it, but unfortunately I don't have one more day, so I am not finishing it. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's very fast-paced, and I really like the whole political dynamics between the two. I don't even know if they're racist or something like that. They do look different. I believe one of them is described as like bronze skin, and the other one is described as like a darker skin, but they speak the same language. They just have some different like religious customs and historical backgrounds, etc. But I think ultimately though they're kind of similar. They're like part of the same like group of people, essentially. It's kind of complicated and confusing in a way, because also not really explained very much. It's kind of just like given to you information and just hope that you figured out the rest yourself. But either way though, it's really interesting to see the dynamic between all of them, and how Ximena is learning to realize that there is another side to the story of the history that she has known her entire life, and that maybe, just maybe, her Condessa and her people might not have been the most benevolent leaders originally, and so that there was a reason for the revolt and why there is a fake king on the throne right now. So it is fascinating. I'm enjoying it. I don't really know if there's a romance in here, because I feel like it's kind of vague, but like also kind of maybe, 'cause, like at the same time I feel like there has to be a romance because it's a fantasy YA book, and that's pretty much a given. But I'm really hoping there isn't, because I feel like it will be a lot more stronger without the romance. But at the same time, there's definitely a few people that could possibly be the love interest, which is also why I think maybe there is no romance. Anyways, that's it for now. I will update you guys when I get back home. Okay guys, so this has been like a really late update. I think last time I updated you guys was right before I left to go to ALA, and it is now basically a week later. It's now Thursday, because I just came back yesterday. Well, no, it's like technically like Tuesday night. So I've been just recovering since then. It's been exhausting this past week, this past few days. I haven't really read that much in terms of the books for this reading vlog, and I need to start ending this vlog soon because I also did unboxing for this video and it's been like 2 weeks, and I need to get that up ASAP because I'm technically a rep for them and I feel terrible, but life sometimes gets a hold of me. But that being said though, I do really want to give you guys a quick update in terms of my reading. So I have managed to almost finish this book. I'm now on page 314, and so far I'm liking this book a lot. The romance that I thought was going to happen did happen, and it was kind of a twist at the same time. I'm not going to go much more into it because that's a spoiler, but in a way I kind of like that twist because it made things a little bit more realistic for me. That being said though, I still think that without the romance it would have still been a stronger book, but I'm not done yet, and I have a feeling that currently there's going to be a sequel. Like right now I'm so close to the end, but the way how this book is going, like the path, the direction that this book is taking, and where I'm at right now seems that there's going to be some unanswered questions, and therefore there should be a sequel or some sort of continuation spin-off to this series or this book. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm really enjoying it though. It's definitely very fast-paced. There's so many cultural references that I really like, and all these like food references. Apparently she meant as a foodie, and I'm like, I am here for this, and I kind of want to try out the food that she keeps talking about in this book because they sound amazing, and she also likes spicy food and I do as well. So apparently we are just a kindred spirit right there. So anyways, really enjoying this book. Should definitely be done with this later today, and I should be able to give you guys a final update for this book. Okay, so then moving on to my second book, which is this Kindle right here. I'm currently about 30% of the way through, so I have a lot more to read in terms of this one, but I'm just juggling 2 books right now, and it's been taking a while. But this book so far is really interesting. There's definitely something about this new character that was introduced that I am like, I already foresee something, and I am really hoping I am wrong, but at the same time, if what I suspect is true, this explains a lot in terms of her timeline for the present day. And so there's something about this new character that's being introduced that I'm like, I don't know. I have some suspicions, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. But this book is like really good so far. It's just really different than the other books I've read already and the ones I'm currently reading. So overall though, I'm definitely going to try to finish this as soon as possible and hopefully be done, and then that way I can finish editing this vlog. All right guys, so I called it, and I am now about like 52% of the way through, and there has been clues that was just revealed, and oh my god, like there's just so much about this book right now that I'm like, I already know where it's heading, and I feel like it's just gonna be like a deep spiral down, and I'm really excited to find out like what will happen next and what will happen when things gets revealed to the characters and not just to the reader. I mean, technically it was revealed to the characters as well, but like I guess the characters haven't connected the dots yet, so I'm definitely interested though. But I'm like halfway through, so hopefully I'll get to finish a little bit more tonight. But I'm actually going to meet up with Madison soon, so we're actually grabbing dinner near my area, so pretty happy about that. And then in terms of this book, I did manage to finish this last night, which by the way, it's now the next day. And you know how I said earlier about how it seems weird that there's going to be ending soon and should be a sequel, etc. So originally I thought this was going to be a standalone, but I just checked Goodreads earlier when I was updating my bullet journal, and I realized that this is actually a series. So there's that. But the thing is, like, I'm not super invested with the story. Like, I liked it. I think I'll give this like a 3-star, but it wasn't amazing. And the thing is, the sequel, from what I've read so far, seems to follow the perspective of a different character, which is exactly what I expected after finishing this book. But the thing is, like, I don't know, I just didn't really care much for that particular character, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I really care enough to pick up the sequel and kind of find out how everything ends. I don't know if it's a duology, if it's gonna be like more of a series or a trilogy or whatever, but I don't know. Like, I think so far it's like a 3-star read, and I do think that the ending for this book is a little bit rushed despite the sequel, because the sequel is basically like a whole nother arc of the story, and I feel like this first book ended the first arc of the story. So even though there is a sequel, I do think that the ending for this first book was a little bit rushed for me. But anyways, I'm gonna have to head out soon because I think it's like heavy traffic like there always is here, and I should probably head out. So I will update you guys later. Hey guys, so it's been a while since I last updated you guys, but I am actually going to finish this vlog here. It's been almost like 2 weeks and I am so behind in just finishing these books and just posting it and everything. So I'm just going to finish it here and just wrap it up because I've actually managed to finish all 4 books finally. So just go with the first 2 books that I read through my Kindle. The first one is Tweet Cute, which I think overall I think I'll give that like a 2.5 if I'm like being generous. And the second book, which I just finished, is Jin Anonymous, and that one I actually really enjoyed. I really like the whole shifting between the now and what happened when she was being captured, etc., and just kind of her realization as what was truly going on, and as she comes to terms with what had really happened to her. I thought that was just a really fascinating turn of events. The only thing I would say about this book is that it was pretty predictable in the sense that I was able to figure out what was going on and how this book, like where this book was going to lead me to. But there were definitely some plot twists, like minor plot twists towards the end I didn't expect, so I really enjoyed that. So I think I'll give that book maybe like a 3.5 stars, something like that, because it wasn't amazing but it was still pretty enjoyable. Then the first physical book that I finished was Wardens of Eternity by Courtney Moulton. This one I don't remember what I gave it at this point, but I feel like now that I'm thinking back about it, like I feel like some of these ratings would totally be different than what I said earlier, because now that I have time to like reflect a little bit more. I'll probably give this book maybe like also a 3-star. Like it wasn't amazing. I did really like the Egyptian mythology, but that's really all I remember going into it, like really getting out from it, to be honest. It's been a while since I did finish this book though, so there's that. But other than the mythology, I don't remember there was like too much about this book that I absolutely enjoyed, so that's why I would give this book a 3-star. Clearly 2 weeks later, my thoughts about some of these books have just like been missing because it's been 2 weeks, guys. Okay, then the last book that I did read for this reading vlog is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. This one I also have mixed feelings for. I think ultimately I give this book a 3-star as well. Like clearly this reading vlog didn't have like the most 5-star reads, but it is what it is. But I did really enjoy the Bolivian culture and just learning more about the history and stuff. I thought it was super fascinating. I mean, granted this is a fantasy, so I don't really know too much in terms of how realistic it is, but I feel like there's definitely some aspects to it that I really enjoyed, some of the culture, some of the food, etc., that I think should be pretty accurate. Anyways, point is I give this book 3 stars. I gave this book also like a 3-star. I gave Jin Anonymous like a 3.5 star, and I gave Tweet Cute like a 2.5 star. So not the best, but it is what it is. And overall I really enjoyed doing this. I'm definitely gonna just finish this vlog now, and I think I might have to start another one soon because it's already like early February, and I mean to post these like arc of reading vlogs like towards the earlier of the month, so I probably need to get on with reading the arcs like ASAP. That way I can actually edit it and get it out in time. So but anyways, I'd love to say for this video, let me know down below if you have read any of these books. At this time these books are out, so let me know if you have picked them up, if you have read them, if any of these books are of interest to you. But as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.